What's up, guys? Starscream from Junk Wax Heroes, and we are here looking at this new digital microscope that I got to check out cards before I send them in for grading. So let's take a look, man.
Are you a scientist?
No.
Then quit putting me under a microscope!
So just today I opened up a box of 1990 Upper Deck Hockey, and there could be a couple of pretty valuable rookies in there. So let's take a look and see if any of them are worth sending into PSA. So I'm still sort of a novice with this thing. It's not fancy by any means, but I've read the manual, I've monkeyed around with it just a little bit, and I'm ready to show you guys what I got going on here. So let's turn it on and take a look at a couple of the cards that we pulled today. And we have a reference card, thankfully, so I already have a PSA 10 1990 Ed Belfour French rookie to compare.
Well, what are you then? I'm French! Why do you think I have this outrageous accent?
But we pulled two of those rookies here today during my box break. So we're going to look at those and compare with the PSA 10 and see if these might be worth sending in or not. So let's take a look at our Ed Belfour PSA 10. If we just want to put it down flat here and get it in focus, we can take a good look at the corners and the edges and stuff like that. So the scratches, or the light scratches you see there on the monitor, are actually on the slab. But if you look at the corner, we can line it up with the little target there and see how nice and square that is. It's really a nice 90-degree angle. And we can do the same thing. You check along the border there. Border's nice and straight. Get to the other corner. You do the same thing. Kind of line it up and see it's really nice and square.
Don't be a...
Here are the bottom two corners and the bottom edge here look really, really good. So let's compare it with the first of the two Belfours that I pulled. And this one, I don't know if you can see it on camera, there in the upper left corner, I can see with my naked eye pretty easily that there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit where it looks like it's almost raised. There it is. There, I got it on camera. You can see it right there. If you see in the upper left corner, right to the right of the corner, is that tiny little raised shadow thing, but it's hard to see. Other than that, I don't see any scratches in the gloss and stuff like that. This card's pretty well centered. Hologram looks like it's in good shape, but that's all to the naked eye. And I looked at this card earlier, and it's really interesting to look at under magnification. So let's take a look at it.
Very interesting.
What is it?
What is what?
And we'll get it in focus here. Look at that corner. And this is a little deceptive if you have it just lying flat. So if you look at it lying flat, you can see there it actually looks pretty good. And you can slide it across, and the edge looks about as good as the PSA 10s did. Along the edge there. That upper right corner looks really, really good. With our bottom corners, bottom right corner rather, looks great. The bottom left corner looks great. But if you look at this thing, it's just a little bit of an angle, and it'll take getting it in focus. If you get it at an angle and focus her up, there it is. Look how much damage there is where that little raised shadow spot was. Can you see that?
Why do you look like me?
Yeah. There's that little shadow right by the crosshair there. And then look at that edge. You can see it took not a big whammo. It's a microscopic whammo, but noticeable on camera nonetheless. So just looking at that little bit of damage near the upper left corner there, if you're looking for a 10 at least, that is not a card that you're going to want to send into PSA. Now here is the second of the two Ed Belfour rookies that I pulled. And let's take a look at this one close up. This one's even more interesting.
Boring!
So we'll put him flat and we'll get him in focus here. And looking at him flat, he looks really, really good.
Beautiful
So the upper left corner looks great. That, I think, might just... There's a lot of foil dust or something like that for the packs. But if you keep looking along the edge there, it looks really, really good. Going to the bottom of the card. Lower left corner looks good. And the lower right corner looks good. And of course, condition isn't all just corners. You want to look at, the edges. You want to look at the printing, all that stuff. You want to do a much more extensive look at your cards than I'm doing here on camera. But the thing this microscope helped me notice is on the lower left corner here, if you get it at just a slight angle and a higher magnification, you can pick out just the tiniest little bit of rounding that isn't noticeable when it's lying flat. And there you can see it perfectly. I'll try and put it in the crosshair there. It's a little bit easier to see. But right above the crosshair, I don't know if you can make that out on camera, but there's the tiniest little nick in that lower left-hand corner that you otherwise can't see when it's lying flat. That you definitely can't see with your naked eye.
I can't see anything.
Use your open eye, Frank.
So of course, man, I'm not an expert with this thing yet, nor an expert on grading, but so far so good, man. This is really cool, and I think it's going to come in handy this year when I'm breaking all these boxes as far as what I want to send into PSA. For now, it's Starscream out.